Hi guys, I'm back. So today I'm going to be just talking, it's going to be talking about my competition, but just peak week. So peak week, what that is basically, that is the the week before my competition. So I competed on the Sunday. It is from the Monday or the Sunday before till the Sunday of the competition, what I did, everything in detail as well. And as well, just so you know, I do have like different papers here, just notes of everything that I did, because some of it can be quite confusing as well. So the first thing I'll say is go about water intake. So during the entire week, I was slowly increasing the amount of water I was having. So first of all, I will start, actually, it won't be the week before, it'll be from actually the Wednesday or the Tuesday. So the Tuesday I was having, or the Tuesday and every day before that from the rest of the competition, I was actually having about 4 to 4.5 litres of water each day as well. And I was just having that amount, but then after that on the Wednesday I was slowly increasing, so I had 5 litres on the Wednesday, and then basically just add a litre each day. On the Thursday I had 6 litres, Friday 7 litres, and I think I had 8, maybe even, I think I might got close to 9 litres actually on the Saturday, which is the day before the competition. You're probably wondering why, if you don't know anything about competitions, you might be wondering why I was water loading, having a lot of water. The reason I do this, or do it for a competition, is literally just because you're trying to get as much water in your body as you can to flush all the bad toxins out of you and to flush excess water out of your body. So for example, all of us, we have water underneath our skin, and we have water underneath our skin. It can blur the muscle separation and blur the muscle definition as well. So you're trying to get rid of all the muscle, or as much water as you can underneath the skin, so the skin basically sucks in to the muscle when you're really lean, when you've got no body fat, sucks into the muscle like that, so it makes you look lean, striated, and as dry as possible as well. So I've been having loads of water. The next thing I'll talk about will be the carbs actually. So the carbs, I was having a decent amount of carbs up to peak week, so I think I was having about 230, maybe 240 grams of carbs, I think, for about 2 weeks before the peak week. But the Sunday before the competition, I went down to 175 grams of carbs. I'll tell you why I've dropped and everything, why I did all this. But I had about 170 grams of carbs on the Sunday before, so literally straight so carbs wise, what I did, I had 175 grams of carbs on the Sunday before the competition, so literally a week before the competition. I had 175 grams of carbs that day, and I will go into more detail why I slowly decreased the amount of carbs and what I did exactly. And then the day after, the Monday, I had 150 grams of carbs, so decreasing 25 grams each day. And then Tuesday, 100 grams of carbs, and actually then I dropped 50 grams. So on the Wednesday and the Thursday together, I did actually have 50 grams of carbs on both those days. So 50 grams on Wednesday, 50 grams on Thursday. That was really tough, having that low carbs. You're probably wondering why I had such low carbs, because I am trying to basically deplete my body completely. So having literally not much carbs at all, then I'll have a carb load after, just to try and fill the muscles full of glycogen, full of carbs, so I'll let it fall on stage as well. And when I was having 50 grams, that is hardly anything whatsoever. 50 grams of carbs is literally like a bowl of oats or porridge as well, so it's not a lot, or even like a very small plate of rice. It's not even that much, maybe as much rice I'd have maybe in one meal would be 50 grams of carbs, maybe even I would usually have more than that even. So it wasn't much at all. And then and other meals I literally just had like protein, like chicken or eggs or whatever, with some veg. With veg actually, of the entire prep, I did not even weigh my veg at all the entire prep. The reason for that, because for myself, I could count. Veg is basically very low calorie, very low carbs. I know it does have some carbs in it, like broccoli and maybe carrots or other things. It does actually have a bit of carbs in it, but I wasn't weighing my veg at all. I was just, because I could easily burn off anyway, to be honest. So yeah, I got down to very, very low carbs anyway. And then in the Friday before the competition, 2 days before, I went up. I had a carb load. So I had 300 grams of carbs. So again, a massive, much more carbs than I had before. Even it was more than very beginning of my prep, more like first 2 or 3 weeks. That's the amount I was having. So I was carb loading just to get, as I said, get as much carbs as I can into my muscles, fill them up. And when I was training as well, I wasn't getting any maxes or going really, really heavy. I was usually more about getting a pump, just trying to force those carbs, get a pump, get the carbs into the muscle, so I do look full and stage as well. After that, the next day on the Saturday, I had 350 grams of carbs. Well, I had 350 grams of carbs in my first 5 meals, or my first meals anyway. And the very last meal, I didn't even count the amount of carbs. The last meal, I actually had burger and chips. I know you're probably wondering why I had burger and chips the night before the comp, because I'm literally about to step on stage where I'd have that. The reason I have it is literally, again, it's more of a carb load, and if I feel like my body is not getting the carbs in the body, in the muscles as much as it should do, I'll have even more carbs or have more of a cheat as well. So basically what I did, I had a burger and chips. I went to Byron Burger. I can't remember the name of the burger I had, but I think it was probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest. I'm not too sure. It might have been the biggest burger they have even, and then chips as well. And I did have extra salt on it as well, not on the burger, on the chips as well. The reason I had extra chips on the extra salt on the chips is because I wanted extra sodium. Because the 5 days before, I was not having much sodium at all, just very, very little amount. And when I did compete in 2016, I did have very, very low sodium the entire peak week, and didn't even have any more on the last meal at all. So when I was on stage, I did actually cramp up, because what you're doing basically when you don't have much salt or water at all, literally on the day of the competition, that's when you're prone to cramping. And when I was in 2016, I did actually cramp up a little bit as well on stage. I think I did I can't remember what pose I did exactly, but with my abs or my obliques did actually cramp up, and I had to get out of position and go back in it again, which is not actually too bad as long as you can style it out really. I know a lot of bodybuilders themselves do cramp up sometimes. It is part of competing, but you have to try and minimize it as much as you can. So yeah, I did have a bit of salt with it. I didn't count how much salt I had at all. I literally just put extra salt on my chips anyway, just to reduce the amount of cramping I'd get on stage and everything as well. And then with that meal actually, peak week meal, the burger and chips, I also had a glass of red wine. I don't even like red wine, but I still had it, or I actually didn't have a glass. I had maybe 3/4 of it just because I couldn't even finish it. You're probably wondering as well why I had red wine, like alcohol, the night before. Again, that is a natural diuretic, or that is a diuretic itself as well. So it helps draw water out of your body. So again, it makes you look leaner, pulls your skin into the muscles, makes you look more lean, striated, cut, and full as well, sort of thing. So that was a diuretic. Also, other diuretics I did have vitamin C tablets. So again, the day before the comp, when I had that burger and chips and higher carbs, I had vitamin C tablets with every meal. I'm not actually too sure the amount of grams or milligrams each tablet is, but I know I had 2 tablets. I just got it from Holland and Barrett, but 2 tablets of vitamin C, 2 vitamin C tablets with every meal. From morning till I got up, I think I might have had 5, or maybe even 6 meals in that day actually as well. So I had vitamin C tablets again, just to draw as much water I can out of me, and I was drinking so much water as well anyway, as I said, which should help flush everything out, and that comes into play. The diuretics and drinking so much water act together well like that. The last thing I did, I had asparagus with every meal of that last day as well, day before my comp, and I think I did actually have it with quite a lot of meals in peak week actually as well, but especially last day I had a lot more asparagus, just because again that is a natural diuretic. I don't think the one meal I didn't have it with was, which literally I think breakfast. Actually, I think I might have had it with breakfast even as well. I think I already cooked some the night before or something, and I had a little bit of it, not too much, but I was already having vitamin C tablets with every meal anyway, so I don't know how much I had. I didn't weigh it out, the asparagus, but I just had maybe about 4 or 5, maybe 6 stems I think there were shorter stems as well of asparagus, and that's it really. Okay, next thing, I'll just read here. Okay, oh yes, so as I said, I did have a higher carb, did lower my carbs slightly as the peak week went on, they went back up again. But when I did have lower carbs, so when I was about 175, went down to 50 grams of carbs, I even went up in my protein. Because my carbs were so low and I didn't want to I know I wouldn't lose muscle anyway in that short period of time, but I still wanted to have a little bit extra protein. I was having, throughout the entire prep, literally I did not change my protein at all. I was having 200 grams of protein each day. But a week before, when my carbs were dropping a lot, I went up to 220 grams of carbs. 220 grams of protein each day as well. Just an extra bit of protein. I might have been extra eggs or extra chicken. I don't actually eat fish, so it wouldn't have been that. Or maybe an extra protein shake or something like that. I'm not even too sure exactly. But I did have extra 20 grams of protein with that. Apart from the 2 days before the comp, when I had the carb load 300 grams and 350 grams, I did go back down to 200 grams of protein as well. Just because I was getting enough carbs in my body as well. So I was getting enough carbs, so I don't really need a high amount of protein. All right, the next thing I had to talk about was cardio. So when I did cardio, I was doing a lot of cardio throughout the prep, especially near the end of prep. But nearer the close to peak week, I was actually slowly decreasing the amount of carbs I was having actually. Decreasing the cardio I was doing. So was it the Tuesday before the competition? What I did was do up to about 40 minutes of cardio, like upper walking, stepper, whatever I was doing. But then I was slowly decreasing. So I think the Thursday I did 30 minutes cardio. I think it was going upper walk. And Friday was my last cardio session. I used to do, I think 15 minutes. It might have been after my workout as well, just 15 minutes. And I think that was stepper as well. So 15 minutes, it was just a stepper after my workout, and that was my last cardio session. So I was slowly decreasing the amount of cardio I was doing over peak week, just because you don't want to be doing too much, or too much tax on your body, and you've done the entire prep anyway. So yeah. And the last thing I'll talk about is training. So the training a week before the competition, what I was doing, so I go from the Sunday before, so a week before the competition, I did a leg workout. The reason I did legs, this was my last leg workout before the competition as well. The reason you do legs about a week or even just sometimes 10 days before the competition is just because your legs can hold quite a lot of water. And it does take a while, quite a few days or a week or so, to get rid of the water in your legs to show more of the definition. I know I did my physique, so I was wearing board shorts, and I wasn't, and I didn't really show my legs, but I still like to implement this, and especially you can still see my calves on stage, so I don't want them to hold water. I still want them to look lean, because if your calves look really lean as well, it does also show in a sense partly show that your legs are quite lean as well. So the judges obviously go on conditioning as well as like muscle separation and things like that. So that's what I did a week before. I did legs on the Sunday. On the Monday, the next day, I did a push workout. So at the time I was doing push pull legs. So the next workout, as I said, I did push. I did chest, shoulders, triceps that day. And from this as well, from then I wasn't actually training massively hard. I wasn't trying to hit PRs or wasn't trying to train as hard as I can. What I was doing, I was literally just going for a pump. So literally just going to go through maybe about RPE scale. So basically out of 10, maybe I was trying to get maybe 8 or 9 out of 10. Example, maybe I could still get a couple of reps in as well if I wanted to. So I just didn't want to go too hard, otherwise your muscles would be aching too much. And time to get to the competition, they may not have recovered properly, and it may be harder to even tense on stage as well. They might even cramp up as well. So the Tuesday, next day I did pull workout, so back and biceps, and again not too hard, just getting a pump again. On the Wednesday I changed up a little bit. I did chest and back, so I did again very light, but I did chest and back, and it was a chest and back superset. I think I did 3 exercises on chest and 3 on back. So I might have done, I can't remember the workout exactly, but I'm saying example. So maybe I might have done the exercise, I might have done incline dumbbell press, superset with lat pull down. And then let's say, for example, what is it? Maybe I'll do a back exercise first, maybe seated row with bench press, but quite light as well. Maybe the last one I might have done chest cable flies, superset with, I don't know, wide grip rows, cable wide grip ropes or something like that. Just to give an example, maybe just again nice and light, just getting a bit of a pump in the muscles as well. On the Thursday and the next day, I did light arms and light shoulders as well. So again, very light, just doing a bit of arms and shoulders. I think I might have done 2 exercises in each. So 2 exercises on shoulders, maybe like a press and a side raise or something like that. 2 exercises on biceps and 2 exercises on triceps as well. And the Friday, that was the Thursday, and the Friday, 2 days before the competition, this was my last workout before my competition as well. So last workout, what a lot of people do, which I have followed this as well, a lot of people do is literally have just like an upper body pump workout. So literally full upper body, just like a workout. I can do a lot of supersets sometimes. Again, go nowhere near failure. I was maybe going to 50 or 60% of my max. So I absolutely nowhere near failure. Just trying to again get their carbs. As at this time I was having a lot of carbs. So literally just getting a bit of a pump, just so I can pump the carbs into my muscles as well. If you have too much, you're going to deplete the muscles too much, otherwise then you can look watery. So yeah, I was just doing a full upper body workout. I didn't do legs at all, as I said. Full upper body workout. So I think I did maybe 1, maybe 2 exercises each muscle, and again it wasn't much at all, just literally a light workout. And then the Saturday, the day before the competition, complete rest, did nothing, no cardio, no training, just rest. To be fair, I couldn't have done training or cardio anyway because I didn't get my tan, first coat of tan anyway that day, the day before. And it was, I think, fairly early as well. Thank you for watching this video, guys. All I want to say quickly is that try not to take everything and do everything exactly that I did. This is really tailored towards me, of how many grams of carbs or protein or how much cardio I did, and was all tailored towards me of how much of what I've done throughout the entire prep as well. So if you want to take tips from this, that's fine. Like the amount, let's say, for example, the amount of asparagus that I had the day before my competition, just help as diuretic. You can all have asparagus if you want to the day before the competition, but try not to do everything that I did exactly. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be releasing more videos, different types of videos, some about talking to the camera like this, of my different experiences with different things, like with prep wise or training, and just training videos as well. Or even maybe more about my nutrition or daily life a little bit. If you want to know anything exactly, or if you want to me to do a specific video, just put a comment in the comment sections below and I'll read it, and I may end up doing what you suggest. Alright, thank you for watching. See you next time.